Hello, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another Hub 101. My name is Imani Moore, and I'm the engagement coordinator for the Austin Community Hub. And I first want to introduce you to the Austin Community Hub. The Hub was designed to be a dedicated space where we can engage with members of our community. So we're here to serve as a connection between Austin residents and all the services that are offered by ACT's network of partner organizations. If you didn't know, we will now be hosting two Hub 101s a month. One dedicated to our workforce partners that provide career services such as job training, placement, and another one highlighting our other partner organizations specializing in anything from housing to child care to youth programming, legal assistance, and much more. Each Hub 101 gives you all the opportunity to get to know our different partners and get live answers to your questions right on the spot. Today, we've invited Habitat for Humanity Chicago to talk about the great work that they do. We'll be hearing from Morgan Bethany and Victoria Stefanova. Uh, we'll have some time at the end for your questions after the presentation. So please feel free to drop those questions in the chat. Thank you for being here. And again, I'll pass it over to Habitat, and the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thanks, Imani. Hello. Well, let me, sorry, y'all. Let me just fix our video here so that you can see both of us.
Hi.
And start sharing our presentation. Which is this. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. So this is we're with Habitat for Humanity Chicago, and this is our Neighborhood Grants Initiative information session. This is our team. I'm Victoria. I am the program support specialist, and this is...
I'm Morgan. I'm the neighborhood engagement coordinator for Greater Grand Crossing.
And then Stephanie, who's not with us today, she is our office administrator. So let's get right into it.
So Habitat is built on the foundation of our quality of life framework. That framework has 7 core foundational sectors. We primarily build houses, but outside of housing, NGI can touch the other 6 things listed: economic opportunities, education, amenities, safety, health, and transportation. So we have projects that have touched these other 6 core values. In Greater Grand Crossing specifically, Operation Neighborhood Safety is an organization we work with where they put on projects that promote more safety within the community. One being going to the gas station and Operation Safe Pump, goes to the gas station, help people pump their gas in a safe at night when it's not as safe. Economic opportunities. We do also have NGI projects that primarily focus on providing funding for projects that work people do in the community, like community gardens, where they provide stipends. So things like that are projects that we focus on.
And aside from Neighborhood Grants Initiative, which is what we'll be talking about today, like Morgan mentioned, Habitat Chicago, we're most well known for our affordable homeownership program. We're currently building houses in West Pullman, Greater Grand Crossing, and coming soon, Austin. We also have our Homebuyer University, which is a public course that goes through the ins and outs of the home buying process. We actually have an upcoming cohort this October. So if you're interested, you can head over to our website and learn more details on how to sign up. And obviously, we also engage with a lot of volunteers through our build site and our resource. So let's get into the Neighborhood Grants Initiative. The program is a small grants program that's, like Morgan mentioned, aimed to fund small to medium projects in the neighborhood, and it can include anything from block club parties to community gardens and things like that. So We can start with the basic steps here. One of the first things that you'll want to do is to establish your core planning group, which needs to consist of at least 3 people, and have a project idea. Once you have that, you can submit an application that has a budget and a timeline. Once, if approved, you'll schedule a meeting with us where we go over details for your project and answer any questions. Once that is all done, you'll receive 80% of your grant funds and you can start your project. Once the project is complete, you can submit a final report and you will receive the final 20% of your grant award.
So eligibility requirements, we require that your core planning group has at least 3 people in the community. So it could be you and your neighbors or you and other residents you're aware of that want to do this project. The projects can take place in our 3 focus neighborhoods, West Pullman, Greater Grand Crossing, or Austin. And it has to impact the physical or social landscape of your neighborhood. So as Victoria mentioned, block club parties or block parties are a social event, but physical could be a mural, it could be the community garden, things like that. The project has to engage at least 5 neighbors and cannot primarily benefit the business of any core planning group member. So if you do have a business and you would like to do a project, it can't be specifically tied to your business because it wouldn't be eligible. All legal requirements are planned for and followed, and your project must adhere to the latest public health guidance. So anything with COVID or any other things we go through as a society. Your project application must request funds for activities taking place in the future. It can't be anything that you've already bought, we can't reimburse that. So it has to be for items that you're purchasing for this project and during that project time.
Okay, so some of our requirements, once your project gets accepted, is that we will send over a grant acceptance agreement. It is a non-binding agreement. It is just something that outlines, what we expect from you, what you can expect from us during your project period. So all project members must sign this agreement. And you must afterwards participate in a project kickoff meeting, which I referenced earlier. The funds will be dispersed once your agreement is signed and once your meeting has been executed. Like we mentioned earlier, for new groups, so that means this is your first time applying with us, you'll receive 80% of the funds upfront, and then 20% of the funds will be paid after your final report has been submitted. For returning groups, you can be eligible for 100% of the funds upfront. You must also submit a final report at the end of your project with copies of all of your receipts. So everything that you've spent on this project, keep your receipts. We do need to see them at the end. And then some photos of your project.
So you can apply for our grant any time of the year, but it has to be at least 45 days before your project event date so that we can provide funding for your project. Applications will be reviewed as they are submitted, and funding is awarded as long as we have it or until it's gone. Groups will have the chance to resubmit application with improvements if it's not approved the first time, and groups must complete their project before applying for another one. So you can't have 2 projects open at the same time. If you're a core member for one, then you'll have to talk to other community members and see if they can be the core member to replace you for that project. And groups are notified of decision within 10 business days of their application submission.
So how to apply? Our application is all online. So if you go to our website here at habitatchicago.org/grants, you can hover over the programs and services, click on Neighborhood Grants Initiative, and then select the application from the menu. The application is, shouldn't take too long. We're just asking what your project is, when is it taking place, why you want to do it, and the neighborhood in which it takes place.
So for the application review process, We ask that you submit an application that has a lot of detail and is very thorough. So, if you're going to talk about why you want to do the project, please include things you've noticed in the community that you think need improvement upon in detail. We also ask that your budget is detailed. So if you're requesting like 2,500 or our max 5,000, please include what you're going to buy in quantities and the usefulness of that item for your budget. The strength of your project group's plan for on time and on budget completion is a requirement. The extent to which the project elevates the neighborhood appeal, the extent to which the project connects the community, and then the extent to which the project enhances the physical environment. So if you do touch on those things, we just actually clarify.
And just for a clarification here, you don't have to meet all three of the criteria for elevating the neighborhood appeal, connecting the community, or enhancing the physical environment. You would just have to do at least one of those. And we've actually done some updates to our program. So we have a new tier structure, which consists of 2 funding ranges. Each funding range will consist of different project types, and it just helps us streamline the application process and increases transparency for everyone to know how we make our decisions. The first tier is funding up to $2,500. You, like we said, needed to be submitted at least 45 days before your event or project start date. And examples of projects like this is block club parties, small beautification projects like community gardens or flowers and planters in your neighborhood, and things like that. And then the second tier is from 2,500 up to 5,000. And this one is geared more towards things like small youth programs, community events, or educational seminars and workshops. And that is it, everyone. So if you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be taking questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Great presentation. We do have some questions here. Let's see. Okay, one question in the chat is, okay, I think you answered it, but I don't know if you mind just touching over it briefly again. It's do you all support community gardens, and how many grants can you apply for in 1 year? Like, is it a cap on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. You can apply for as many grants as you want, as long as your previous project has been wrapped up. So that means your final report has been submitted, it has been reviewed and approved by us. You can then go ahead and apply for a project pretty much immediately after. So there's no cap on how many projects you can apply for. And yes, community gardens are absolutely something that we've seen a lot of community gardens come in as projects. So yes, that's something that we can fund.
Great answer. Next question is, so when you speak about groups that are able to apply, are you referencing, like, does it have to be a nonprofit group? Does it have to be a block club, or can it be just an actual group of people? Like, what are the requirements as far as who can apply?
Yeah, so we've had all 3 apply. Currently in Austin, we've had an actual nonprofit apply to do a community garden, but usually it's resident group members or block club members who apply. So if you can just find yourself and 2 other community members, or however many community members to get together to plan a project, then it will apply.
Okay, great. So if I get together with 2 other community members or residents, we don't have to actually form a official organization or anything.
No.
Like that.
No.
Okay, great. Thanks
Yeah.
for clarifying.
This is totally aimed at residents, individuals who just want to, do something in their community. And it can be a formal organization, but it does not have to be.
Great. No, thank you. We have another question, and this person wants to know: can the funds be used for a project that's feeding people in the community, giving out hot meals?
Yeah. So in Greater Grand Crossing, we had a couple of food drives over the years. As long as you can provide invoices of the food that you've purchased, one of our past applicants provided like a grocery list, and then she was able to talk to Pete's and all these other grocery stores and get bulk items to distribute to the community. So that definitely is something you can apply for through our NGI program.
Yeah, we also had a turkey drive last year for Thanksgiving. So yeah.
Oh, great. And so those that list that you had up as far as examples of what you all have seen, those are, you're not like sticking strict to that. Those were just examples that you've
Yeah,
seen.
those were just kind of just to guide folks and just give examples of what you could do, but really the sky's the limit kind of and what you can think of. We also have, if you head over to our website again, under the Neighborhood Grants Initiative, we do have a past projects webpage where you can see what projects have been done in the past. So you can kind of get an idea of other stuff that we funded as well.
Great. And I have another question. When you say you fund 80% of the project, now that other 20%, would I have to pay out of pocket, and then the 20% will be reimbursed to me after the project is complete?
Yeah, that's kind of how that works. And the reason why we do that is so we can, if you're, like I said, this is only for new groups. So if you haven't done a project with us before, this is kind of our way of just keeping an eye on things. And so once you submit all of your receipts, if your spending adds up to that 100%, we will then reimburse you for that 20% that you paid. Or up to the 20%, I should say. So maybe if you ended up spending only 95%, then we would reimburse you 15%. And then in some rare occasions, folks might, they maybe over budgeted, and so they didn't spend the entire grant or like less than 80%. And in that case, we do ask that funds be returned.
Okay, great. And could you clarify one more time? These neighborhood grants are only for those three particular neighborhoods that you named, correct?
Yes, so we currently build in Greater Grand Crossing and West Pullman, and we work within Austin. So those are the communities that we're focusing on providing funding and building up in that way. So those are the only ones that we can provide NGI funding to.
Yes, and you can, again, if you visit our website, you can see like the actual maps of each of those community areas and see where the boundaries are. So if you're not sure, you can look on our website to check.
And now, would they have to actually live in these communities, or are you just speaking on the work that's being done?
Just the project needs to take place in the community. You don't have to be a resident of West Pullman to have the project happen in West Pullman.
Okay, great. I just wanted to clarify that, but there was a question that
No, thanks.
they don't live in the community. So if you don't live in the community, you're more than welcome to still have the project take place in the community or partner with people that are in the community as well.
Yeah, like if maybe you know somebody who lives there but you don't, or you just want to have it, take place in that neighborhood, that's fine.
Great. We do have some more questions. 1 second. Okay, now we do have some questions about housing. Okay, somebody wants to know how can seniors get grants for essential home repairs?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't do any senior repairs at the moment. We do have a repairs program that we're partnering with the city of Chicago with, and they're actually handing out the assignments right now. So they're telling us where to go and do these repairs. So hopefully in the future, once we have built up our own repairs program, we will start getting into that. But for the time being, we don't offer that service.
Okay, great. Thank you for that answer. Um, how can someone volunteer? How can someone sign up to volunteer for all these
Oh,
programs?
yeah, I mean, if you just head over to our website, it's literally right there when you land on our page. There's a link to volunteer. So there's several opportunities. You can sign up for our build site and volunteer with our construction team. And actually build houses, or you can volunteer at one of our restores. We have a restore north on 6040 North Pulaski, and then we will be opening another restore south coming shortly. TBD on the location.
Great. Thank you. And do you all offer assistance with home repair? It's kind of a two-part question. Home repair and refinancing.
No, we do not.
Thank you. And this question. Let's see. What type of policy advocacy do you all participate in?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What type of policy advocacy do you all participate in?
Say policy advocacy, what do you mean? What do they mean by that? Like what policies?
Let me try to get clarification on that. Let's get that question for now. Are there any other housing resources that you all offer to the community?
Yes, we have Homebuyer University. It basically is a 4-weekend course taking place in October in Greater Grand Crossing at the library. But basically, it's going to tell you all about financing a home, picking a home, determining like what you actually are looking for as a home buyer. It tells you about the types of mortgages, come in and talk about credit and how you can build your credit and things like that. So that's one thing we do for housing that's not primarily buying a home through us. Outside of that, we have an affordable home ownership program where if you were interested in purchasing a home through Habitat, it would have to be in our focus neighborhoods that we actually build in right now, which is Greater Grand Crossing and West Pullman. But if you qualify based off of your income and your household size, your mortgage will be 0% interest, which is better than what it is now. I guess for the nation, it's like 7% or something like that. And then also your mortgage will never be more than 30% of your income if you were to qualify. So if you're interested in like housing through us, then you can go on our website and take that assessment to see if you qualify. And if you're not interested in housing through us, but want to learn about the steps to become a homeowner, then come to Homebuyer University in October and take that 4-week course.
Okay, great. Thank you for that answer. I think we got a little bit of more clarity on that previous question, and I think they're just wondering what type of advocacy are you doing with policies surrounding like public housing or rent control in the city, or are you involved in any of those things?
Not currently, no. I mean, I think that is something that we would like to eventually get involved in. We do, do our annual Habitat on the Hill conference where, different Habitat affiliates, talk to members of Congress, and things like that, but specifically within the city of Chicago, no.
Great. And as far as the neighborhood grants, is this typically a competitive grant application? Do you see tons of people applying, or like what is that process like? And, it's like what can folks expect when they apply as far as timeline and just the competition level, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say competition exactly. I mean, it really is just if you've submitted a thorough application with a budget and a timeline, and it falls in one of our focus neighborhoods, as long as we have funding, there's a high likelihood that your project will be approved. The only time we have run out of funds was this previous year. And we had to close applications down early, but other than that, there's really no like very stiff competition where our goal is to get as many projects approved as we can. So
Thanks. And that is on a rolling basis, right? There's no like deadline. They're able to apply.
yep, it's open year-round rolling basis. And yeah, I guess the other question was what can we expect in timeline wise? So once you submit an application, we ask that you give us 10 business days to review. If it is approved, you'll be getting a phone call from one of us, followed by an email with further instructions on what you need to do, signing a grant acceptance agreement and scheduling a meeting. And so it's really kind of up to the group how quickly things go. So if you sign your agreement and schedule your kickoff meeting, sooner rather than later, things, will just kind of go quicker. So once those things are done, like I said, we'll be processing the funds and dispersing them to you. And then after that, it's off to the races. So, up to the group entirely how the timeline flows.
Great. We have another question here. Can you explain any difference between your housing program versus NACA?
I don't know what NACA is.
Yeah.
But the basics of our program are, you'll take a self-evaluation and speak to one of the members of our homeownership team to discuss whether or not you're qualified. If you are, you then move ahead with the application process. Most of this takes place about a year to year and a half. And so from the time that you apply to the time that you actually will be closing on your house, because we build the house when you apply. So that's when we start building your house. You get to choose, we have obviously set designs, but you have some choices that you can make. So typically it takes anywhere from 12 to 18 months. But if anyone is interested in that particularly, Imani, I don't know if you can take note of folks' emails or not. We can send out an email after this with just, links to our website if you want to sign up for our homeownership interest list, and that self-evaluation that I mentioned. And, we can keep the conversation going.
Yes. Those who want to be connected, we'll definitely be connecting them to you all. And apparently the NACA is the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but we do have another question here. Do participants have to be 18 and older?
That is a good question.
Off of the grant program?
Yeah.
I
Are
would
you talking about the grant program? Okay.
Yes, yes.
That is, I don't think we have any like age restrictions, actually. This is a great question. I've never been asked that.
I would say I would encourage people younger than 18 to apply with a legal adult because it's some monetary, stipulations attached to it. But we do want fresh ideas, and if you see something in the community that you want to change, as long as you know somebody that can be liable for receiving the money that the grant that we give out, then it's fine. You should apply.
Great, great, great. Thank you for that. I believe that is all of the questions we have as of now. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to drop those questions in the chat. Those of you who are asking questions about the job seeking bus tour, we will have some information about that at the end of this. So please be patient. Let's see what we have here. Are there any other community action resources that you all offer besides the housing advocacy that you do, the home buyer university, and the neighborhood grants?
Well, we do have workshops based off of interest. So we have a block club workshop. So if you're interested in starting a block club but don't know where to start or how to start, we can provide that.
Yeah, we also host, different classes, outside of Homebuyer University. So, we have one coming up on August 31st, that is gonna go over property tax appeal process. So if you subscribe to our interest list, you will definitely get, regular updates about events like that we're hosting.
Oh, great, great. Thank you. Thanks for that. And let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, we do have one more question here. It says, what's the budget for building homes? And is it based on what you are qualified for?
No, it's not based on that. It's, I don't know that we have like a set number for every house, but it's whatever the cost of building the house is. And then, after it's built, they are appraised. And so your mortgage is gonna be based on that appraisal.
Oh, great. I hope that helps answer that question. And this is a personal question. I just wonder, I know you guys said you were coming to Austin. Is there like a time or timeline that the people of Austin can kind of expect to see you all working and starting to build out throughout the community?
So it's based on the city providing us land to do that. So currently our partnership with them is with the rehabs that they have established we can do within Austin. I don't know an exact timeline for when we'll receive land to be able to build there. But obviously we're connected and we can keep you posted on that once we find out.
Yeah, but most likely somewhere in the latter half of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. But yeah, it does, like Morgan said, it depends on when we can get some vacant lots to start building on, and that's always a pretty long process, whether with the city or with other entities. So that's what we're working on right now, is acquiring land to build.
Oh, great, great. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. And I think that is all of the questions. If I don't know if you have anything else that you would like to share or leave with the audience today.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, applications are currently open, so if you have ideas, feel free to apply, or if you're not sure, we have our contact info up here. Please give us a call. We're happy to talk through any more questions that you have, or, you know, just bounce ideas. But yeah, applications are open, so go ahead and apply.
Thanks, and thanks again, Victoria and Morgan, for coming. If you requested services from the hub in your registration form, you'll be hearing from our team within the next week. So we look forward to connecting with you all. Any of you all who want to be connected with Habitat, we'll be sure to do that. For anyone that's interested in starting or growing their own business, ACT is hosting the Be Your Own Bus Tour with the AWC on August 30th. You can scan the QR code or use the link in the chat. Again, that is August 30th. And you can go ahead and register for our next Hub 101 right now, which will be September 3rd with Kara. And you also can share the registration form or Facebook event with your family and friends, neighbors, or anyone who you might think is interested. Once again, hope to see you soon. Join us for the next Hub 101. Until next time, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, they having like a big block club party.